Good evening, it's Cindy Fodor here with Stamp the Love, and I am recording this for you tonight because I still have our granddaughter Emma and the parents, hopefully, if they can get home to the airport tonight, we'll be picking her up around the time that this would be live. So I didn't want to skip because I have a fun project to share with you and some information, and I don't want to miss all of that. So you should have gotten an email if you're on my email list about my birthday card class for this month that you can turn into a Stamp-A-Stack if you choose. I'm going to show you those cards in a second, but I just want to flip through a few other things just to remind you. We still have bonus days for a few more days yet till February 2nd. So you earn $5 coupon for every 50 you spend. You will spend those in February from the 3rd to the probably March 2nd or something like that. Okay. No, there's no minimum purchase to use those coupons. Next is our Creative Stamping Collective for January is the Endless Love Bundle, and that will end at the end of this month. So in order to get that, you need to place an online order this month of $60 or more, and you'll get all 12 tutorials. Also, this is the product of the month, the stamp set, Fabulous Sayings, and I really, really like this set. It's definitely worth the $5 add-on. If your order is $75 or more, you can pop this on for $5. Let me pop to this one. We have a new Stampin' Positioner coming. So very exciting for those of you that missed out on our previous Stamparatus. This will be a new type of tool. Works a little bit differently. However, if you have the Stamparatus already, you probably don't need this one. Although there are different features with each one that are, more positive. So, but I just wanted to let you know about this. I don't know when this is actually going to be available to purchase, but starting March the 3rd, I wanted to make sure that you guys know that when you join as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you can get this for free in your kit. So regular price kit is $99. You get to pick $125 worth of product, and then they'll pop in this positioner for you. If you are a demonstrator, excuse me, I was talking too fast and not breathing, and I tend to do that. If you're a demonstrator, you are able to pre-purchase that right now. A very short window. When this special goes live on February 2nd, you will no longer be able to pre-purchase the Stampin' Positioner. So if you're already a demonstrator, make sure you do that if you need one. Because I ordered one just because I want to be able to show it to my customers at class, even though I have several Stamparatuses and I'm never going to give them up. Yeah. So anyways, I think that's everything. Let me pop over to the other camera so that I can just mention the birthday card class. So just really quickly, here's a few of the cards that we'll be doing in the class. So you can get, for $35, you will get the beautiful paper that, do I have that on here? I don't have that on here. I was thinking that I did. Oh, I have the bundle. That's right. That's where I skipped past. I'm sorry. Let me pop over with my mouse here. So this is the suite of products, the paper, the dies, the stamps, the ribbon, the gems. So what you're going to get is, I don't know if you can see my mouse when I'm doing this, probably not, but you're going to get the designer paper. You get a full pack of that, I think. You get a half roll of ribbon and the whole pack of gems to use on your cards. And then you'll have plenty of paper to make more. So $35 will get you those things plus these 4 card packets. An additional $20 will get you another set, 2 of each of these cards that I showed you here a second ago. So that would be a total for $55. That would be a total of 4 times 3 is 12 cards. Of course, envelopes are included, and yeah, and the tutorials will be available. Probably I'll pop in a video too, just to make sure that you know how to put them together. But they're really not difficult, very easy for even first-time beginners. But the one card has some fun techniques to it that will be interesting that you might want to see on a video. So, okay, actually, I might have already shown that one, so I might be able to pop that in the tutorial for you. Okay, so here we go. This was just covering up everything. And so I showed you this card before. I did this for a swap back in December, and it's gotten a lot of attention. I've gotten a lot of great feedback on the card, and so I thought that I would show you how to make it. I also did a similar one for the Creative Stamping Collective back in December. So just so that you know, if there's ever any of the Creative Stamping Collective tutorials that you want that are in the archive, you can always purchase them for $15. And so that one, it's a little bit different, not a ton different than this one. So basically, this one has just a little bit more with the cutouts and the window sheets here. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do this. And this is featuring, I want to first show you everything that I'm using because I'm afraid I'll forget to tell you. It used the Sweet Bugs bundle, so the dies and the stamp set. And this is my featured product for this week. And I'm going to try to pop on here and either just it won't always be a video, but it might be some new ideas. I definitely want to show you these beautiful toadstools. They are just so cool. I will show you two other cards that I have. My friend Barbara, I had given her some of the stuff to make her swap, and she took all of my little strips of designer paper and made this cute card with the set and the paper, strips of paper, and then this was her swap. So this is just such a fun, non-traditional, maybe just a little bit different. The papers are all beautiful. So I think it's something that a lot of you are probably going to like to have in your repertoire. So I am also using, I'm going to show you this, the Forever Plaid embossing folder. I'm just going to pop this out of here. I like to put things in here like off sort of cattywampus, because if you don't get it exactly straight, it looks a little funky, and I have trouble with that. So I'm also using the deckled rectangles dies. I used that for this piece before I embossed it. Lay the stuff out of the way. I am using our shaped, stylish shapes dies for the square window. And I also used a retired set, which if you're like me, you will never get rid of, our rectangle stitch dies. And I used this one to create this, actually, this one here, I used a different one, but I used it to create the cut that's in here. You don't have to use this die, because my original card that I did, I actually just used my cutter and trimmed out a rectangle from there. So definitely not a must-have, but I just did it for ease. And I'm not sure why I chose that. I grabbed that one instead of the more narrow one. I didn't need that big of a piece. So hopefully my card will still look nice. Okay, so before we start with anything, let's just do a little bit of stamping so that we have everything ready to go. And if you watched my last video, I think, yeah, I think it was Tuesdays, or last Mondays, I'm sorry. I showed you how I really like putting my color on. If I'm going to blend color, I like to put it on before, or I learned that I should put it on before I stamp, just because when you put, whoops, I just put that in the pink. That was dumb. Wrong one. You should, once you put this wet ink over a stamped image, you will end up making it wet and smudging the ink. So I'm going to make these little bells, little coral bells. We'll get some color on here. and then we'll stamp afterwards. I bathed the baby this morning, forgot to put my watch back on, but that's okay. Time doesn't really matter right now. So hopefully you guys are all tucked in, safe and warm at home as you're watching this. Still quite chilly. We got some more snow overnight, and Joel is going to go out and blow the rest of that after I'm finished here and can take the baby. He's watching her right now. So we're very grateful that we didn't have to go anywhere. I'm not sure exactly what we got, maybe 6 to 8 inches. It's hard to tell with the wind blowing everything around. Now this morning, I know we're supposed to get lots of wind and everything, but this morning everything was very still. So I don't know what it's doing right now. If you hear machines, somebody's across the road, probably cleaning up snow. Okay, let's go ahead and stamp these. If I can just stick my head in the way here and make sure I get that inked good. Come here. There. How pretty is that? And this would look pretty just like this, where you wouldn't have to necessarily stamp it. Don't mind my head. I think I touched it down already. It's not where I wanted it, but okay, that's good. Actually, it's perfect. You know what? I do need to stamp the tag, and we're going to put a tag on the front, and we're going to use the Spread Joy. And let's see, I think that's the side I wanted. And I don't want to send this to somebody and say, spread joy, like you should, like it's a command, right? So I took this stamp set, Love You Lots, and I turned it into something that I could use. So I just trimmed it apart. And I said, you spread joy, because that's giving somebody a compliment, right? So to do that, we're going to stamp this on here. Let me think which way I want to stamp this. So I want this to go right here. So it's going to go this way. It's really hard to picture that upside down. Okay. So it's going to give me a couple pieces here, but actually I don't want to waste that much beautiful two-sided paper. That's pretty precious. Now I thought I grabbed a pair of scissors to bring in here, but I guess I didn't. We'll use these. These need sharpened. But I'm not cutting out anything. I already cut out what I wanted to use. And now this is going to be, let me show you how to create. I'm going to just put this on here. Whoops, put it on the right way. To get this over here where I need it to be. There we go. Okay, so now we're done with our stamping. Let me just get rid of that. All right, so let's go ahead and put our card pieces together. So we have, I have written here what this is. I'm just going to scoot this up here. So I have this two-sided, the first thing is this two-sided petal pink piece, and it's 3.5 inches by 10. I've scored it at 1/2, at 2, at 5, at 8, and 9.5. And then we have this 12-inch designer piece. So you can get 2 out of 1 sheet of paper. And I have that, it's 5 1/4 high. And that's scored at 4, 6, and 8. Okay. And then you have 2 fronts and backs. And that's just 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. Both of those. Okay. All right, so what we want to do is we're going to first put our window sheets on here, and I'm going to go ahead and burnish all the folds before we do that, so that it's ready to stick down. So the first fold folds back as a valley fold, then it's just Mountain Valley from there on either side. All right, now I want the light side to show because this little worm is petal pink and it's the lighter color. So we're going to put the window sheet on the back. Now I have these cut, I started out cutting them 3 inches by 3 inches, but I found that because this is 3 inches, it pushed into this fold too far. So we're going to put the shorter side. Actually, I might want to cut a little bit more off of that. This one is a little bit too long, so I guess it's good I brought that cutter in here. And you could even go a little slimmer, but it's fun trying to get your tear and tape on here. And I'm pretty sure that's what I used. Yeah, I think so. You could use glue dots, but yeah, we're going to use tear and tape. So we definitely don't want to go into the window, but I am going to go into basically into this side fold. So I'm going to go ahead and stick some on here. And we'll just tear that right there. We'll do both sides like that. And that way it'll be a little less that we have to get right on the edge of the window sheet. I'm trying to think if I just did, trying to look at my sample here. It looks like I did all 4 sides. I'm not sure that you need to, and I'm not sure that I did on my swaps, but we definitely need to do in here because we need that to stick down. So I'm going to just put it on the edge, and we're going to tear that, and I'll show you why. Well, if you look here, if you see, this is not as wide as this tape is. So I'm going to push that down good, peel this back, and I'm just going to fold it back over itself so that now it's more narrow. Does that make sense? So let's go ahead and stick this one on. Okay, we're going to push this into the corner here because I need to make sure that this actually will fold down well. And then we'll press this side down. So now both of those should be in place. Let's do the same thing with the other one. Let's get our short side and just putting it down halfway to the edge. You can see here, looks like I got some stuck to my finger. And then we'll peel that back and fold this back. And again, we'll peel this one off. And we'll put this into this corner. And I'm just going to look over there. It looks like mine's a little bit crooked, but it starts about there. Okay, there we go. Looks like there was some yuck on the edge of that tear and tape. I should have checked that first. All right, so there's our window sheets. Now these little guys are going to pop into here, and I'm going to just green glue them. And I'm only sticking them to the paper because I don't want to smear up the window sheet. So let's just see where that's going to stick. Maybe just this little guy, the face here. It's going to go right there. And then this one is going to go on this side with a little bit of glue here and maybe a little bit there. We don't want it over the fold because everything has to close, right? Okay. Now, last thing for the inside is our designer paper. And I cut these at 3 1/4 by, I believe, 1 1/4. So hopefully they will fit good. And then for the other ones, for the card that I did for the swap, I didn't put any here, but I decided I had some paper there while I was cutting. And I thought, you know what, I can just cut a little sliver to put here so that that coordinates as well. Absolutely not required, but all right. And we'll put this one on this side. And then another sliver. So it's a 1/4 inch because the fold there, the piece is a 1/2 inch. So everything will match and have the right amount of, the right size borders. Okay. All right. So now we're ready to stick that in. I think that maybe we'll go ahead and put it together and then we can do the front. Okay. So let's fold this up. This one folds just opposite. So instead of being an indent in the center, it actually comes out in the center and is a mountain fold and then a valley fold on either side. So I'm going to just, I'm not sure what the easiest thing is here because it's a little tricky. I did spend a little bit of time with this and made sure that it was nice and square before I glued it in here. You can see there how it might just be overlapping a little bit. But if I press it down, it's pretty square. Both sides need to be even. Even if you score these very carefully, it's a little tricky to get them exactly where they need to be. Now, the problem here is I can't see this when I go to glue this one down on the next one. All I can see is this. So I'm going to put my glue on here. And I'm going to line this up with the front, which should make everything nice and square, right? Just give that a little tweak. All right, so let's look on the inside and see how we did. Oh, that looks pretty good. All right, now because this paper is positional or directional, you want to make sure that you have your bugs going the right direction there. All right, now this just slides through here. So I'm going to do that. Because I cut this hole so big, I don't have any trouble getting that through. Now, the next thing that's going to be important is to get this fold close how you want it to. You don't want to get this back here too far because then it will show. So I'm going to pull it out just a little bit. I want it to be just to the edge of that previous fold. All right, so now I'm going to lay it down in here and center it up and down a little bit there. I centered it in that window. Make sure we're still good back here. And I'm just going to lay this down. This is the piece that's going to get glued down. And I'm going to use Seal Plus on here. You could use tear and tape too. Definitely you need something besides just seal because it's going to have a lot of movement. All right, so now that one's glued down. Just check this, make sure that's still good. We'll go to the other side. And do the same thing here. We'll fold that little flap forward. We'll put glue on there. And close that one down. And voila, that is it. So not so hard, right? As long as it folds and everything is inside, that is what we want. Okay, so let's close up that cute little guy and let's work on the front. So I did this piece, and there wasn't a lot on this one. I tried to use pieces like this one has, the cicada playing a harp. Okay, now because I have this cut off centered, I'm going to probably position it like that. So let's go ahead and I'm using the darker side because I want it to show up a little, add a little bit more color. On the other one, I used basic beige, and it might have been a little too close to the color. So I'm going to use this brighter one here. And then get this the right direction. And we'll put that one off. When you offset, I'm not sure if I want this offset or not. I think I need to. When you offset, you have to do it enough so that it looks like you intended to do it, okay? Otherwise, we might think that you just got it crooked. And I probably should have offset this one just a tad more. Okay, so let's use some dimensionals here. We're going to pop our spread joy up. And then I'm going to use just a little piece. Let's see, I have some here that are smaller for the U. Because I just want the top of that. And we're going to trim this down. I just want a small part of it. You spread joy. Okay. And for this one, I used the lighter side. So let's see if there's much contrast here with the other side. You can see a little bit there. I should have done a different color with that one, but I didn't. I guess we could still do that. We have all the rest of this paper that we could punch. Let me think. Let's find this and the pad and the U. This is the darker side. I feel like that U is a little bit tough to get stamped where the end of the U is not being too thick, but I think it's just the nature of the font. I hope I did the right side that time. Let me pull this off of here. There, that's pretty sticky yet. Maybe? Okay. There, that's a little better. A little bit more contrast. Okay, I did not bring ribbon. Well, we're going to add a bunch of other stuff, so we might not need ribbon. So I have seen people work with this paper, and there are so many gorgeous things in here. And look at this. When you cut them out, are they just not the cutest? Check out this little slug. And with a dandelion. The ladybug has a dandelion. So I'm going to put these on here, and I might not pop them out just because there's a lot of tiny little pieces. And I don't want them to So we're going to put that one right there. And we'll stick the snail over here. And then, did I not put any up here? No, I got too much. Oh my goodness, aren't they so cute? Okay, so then there is a die that cuts out 3 little things. There is a dragonfly, a snail, and a butterfly. And I have them cut out in several different things. I'm not sure if I need any of those on here, but I just want to put some on just because they're cute. In fact, I think I have a perfect place. I should use my stamper at it, my take your pick tool. I think we'll stick that right there. What do you think? And maybe this butterfly, we'll put that over here. Trying to get just a little bit of glue on there. Come on. I know you're in there. All right. Okay, and then last but not least, we're going to add some gems, and these gems go really well with this. These are called pearlized faceted circles, and goes well with the coral colors. So let's see. I don't think I want too much coral, so I'm going to stay with the lighter colors here. We'll throw some of those on. Did I get that one? And maybe one more. Isn't it fun when you can add shimmer with gems like this? They're so pretty. All right, so there's our card, and when you open it, the front is fun, and the inside is like, wow. So hopefully you'll give this a try, send it to somebody, and see what kind of response you get. I hope that I made it look as easy as it really is. And I hope that you'll check back through the week to see, to keep me on my game and say, hey, where's those other cards you did with this set? Because we want to see the toadstools, okay? All right, thanks. God bless.